All right, we're live. Welcome to the Dirty Bird Nation Report, the unofficial official podcast of Falcons Twitter. We are here with a very special guest. Her name is Rachael. She goes by GameDayOJ on Twitter, and we are so grateful that she's graced our presence in our little podcast over here to talk about the Falcons. Rachael, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing all right. I'm clearly, as you can probably tell by my camera, I'm on the road right now. Probably in the world's most terrible place to be if you're a Falcons fan. I'm in Louisiana right now. But weather's been terrible. So I was supposed to be in my hotel like around 6 to 7 p.m. tonight. And I'm still on the road. But I'm so happy to be here, take my mind off of this for a little bit.
Well, we appreciate you coming out. And for everybody else, we have our usual people here, Jalen, Josh, and Eric. Of course, at the Falcoholic. Some of y'all didn't know that, but like Eric's from the Falcoholic, so now you know. Okay, so stop asking questions.
I'm a nobody. Come on now.
Oh, please. You're like the person. I mean, I almost brought up something that he told me not to bring up, but
bring it up.
You know, your work gets, but I'm going to move on.
Leave that alone.
Yeah, we're going to drop that. But we're here. Let me see. The first topic I want to talk about is this alleged Dean Pease call to some, I don't know who he was, some college football player allegedly got a phone call from a 404 number that said they were Dean Pease. Don't know how you don't know how Dean Pease sounds, but whatever. But he showed up at Flowery Branch, wherever they're practicing right now, and basically he caused hell because he swore he had to be there, and he was allowed to be there, and Dean Pease called him personally himself to come out, and that wasn't the case. And now he's saying somebody lied and all this stuff. What do y'all think about this? Let's start with Rachael. Do you think this is true?
I mean, I think it's an ex-girlfriend pulling a prank on him or something like that. I don't know. I don't think that look, Dean Pease, I don't know that much about him, obviously. Maybe none of us do, except I know that he's kind of flaky, kind of finicky from what I've read, and doesn't know ever if he wants to retire or not. So there is that, right off the bat about this man. Maybe he thought he was going to call this dude, and then maybe he changed his mind last minute. I don't know. This could be, I don't know. It's crazy, though. It's really sad, though. I was actually learning more about that on my ride through Louisiana today, and it's just sad. It makes me really sad. I mean, it's from a small school. Probably ain't getting a whole bunch of phone calls. Gets all excited to go see the Falcons, and then finds out that something's gone terribly wrong, and it wasn't for him. I mean, can you just imagine, like, the kick in the gut that is?
Yeah, I can. That shit would hurt me.
Yeah. A lot of prospects who are trying to make it to the league right now, they devote everything. They devote their life, their time. They sacrifice so much to try to make it to the league and just to get that one opportunity. And, to have that one opportunity pretty much be a prank phone call. Like, I'm pretty sure that devastated him to a huge degree.
Yeah. Josh, what do you think about this?
Has this ever happened before?
I've never heard of it happening before.
I don't think I've ever heard of anything like this before. Nah.
Kind of surprised that it hasn't, honestly, because I'm like, I can't think of another time. But it's what do you think, Josh?
Who would be that cruel though? Like that's cold.
Josh, unmute yourself.
Josh muted.
I'm sorry, I did say word too, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. So let's just say this prospect, he wants to come to Atlanta. He's like, okay, I see what Atlanta's doing. So you know what? Let me fabricate a story so I can get this guilt trip going. And then, you know what? Atlanta, they'll be like, you know what? Hey, let's bring this kid onto our campus and see what he can do. Because it's too far-fetched. I mean, because again, like, who's to say Dean Pease has a 404 number? He can be still have whatever number that he had for years prior to coming to Atlanta and could have called the player. But
you mean to tell me he did all this just to get a tryout?
I mean, we have people who like take money out of their 401ks just to go and stand on Instagram. I mean, this is the type of generation that we're in now. So he probably could have made up a story.
That's possible. It is possible because in Atlanta, who has a 404 number still? Like, really?
I mean, I don't know. I can't see a prospect doing that on purpose just to get a tryout. He got a tryout, but it wasn't even with the NFL team. So
right, but that's the thing.
Was it even really beneficial?
I mean, he got a tryout, like you said, but I think one of the teams that is going to be there is the Falcons. So it kind of got him like, hey, I got my name out there. You know, people are going to come and see me.
It was like, what teams have terrible secondaries and might actually give me a chance if I guilt tripped them enough? But like, I really just need to know, had he ever spoken with the defensive coordinator before in the first place? Is he claiming that this was just a random phone call out of nowhere?
I guess he's saying it's a random phone call, but I don't even recall the team giving him like a workout, a pre-draft workout, or anything like that. So this literally just dropped out of nowhere, basically.
Which is why I think it's made up.
Damn, Jalen, what do you think? You've been so very quiet.
I don't know about that.
I ain't have any thoughts about it. I thought it was just somebody just doing something to get their name into the headlines, trying to get something going because they didn't get drafted. Like, aside from that, I don't really know like the reason why you would do something like that. Like, you don't project your L's like that, especially that big on the timeline. And I don't know how like the offseason works between like coaches and players, but I'm pretty sure if you wanted to get a call from somebody, you'd have to like, get a call from a GM or a coach.
Right. I don't think you actually even get a phone call directly from the coach. I think you get phone calls from other assistants saying that, hey, we want to invite you in for a tryout. Exactly. I don't think Dean Pease is making phone calls after the draft saying we want to bring you in for a tryout. So that's why, I mean, I'm not saying he's fabricating the whole story, but I'm also looking at this like, wait a minute, just from what I know, like, coaches are not necessarily doing that. So,
like, what if they fly you in?
Yeah, it's a different. Yeah, they fly you in. Well, yeah. For tryouts, they do fly you in. But like I said, I don't think
for tryouts they fly you in.
I don't think the coaches are literally picking up the phone after the draft and saying, "Hey, we want to bring you in for a tryout." Like, it's other individuals on the staff that would do that.
It's crazy.
First of all, my name does not have a Y in it. The O is a U and the E is an A.
Padre meant well, okay? Don't slander Padre. He meant well, okay? He called you honorable.
Nah. He didn't call me anything.
Sorry,
that's not my name.
Oh my goodness. The whole thing is crazy. Like, I haven't even looked up wherever the Falcons have their shit at. Flowery Branch. I haven't even looked up the address. So to look up the address and to like show up at the door being like, let me in, is just crazy to me. Because you know how many times I've wanted to pull up that place?
Like that has to be incredibly embarrassing though.
Right.
to go to rookie tryouts and say, all right, I'm here. And they look at you like, you're not on the list, bro. Like, what you doing? Who are you? Like, that has to be embarrassing.
And then you see the other players walk in. Like, who's
Yeah. And then you leaving. He probably Ubered there from the airport or from his hotel. So you got to get an Uber back. Damn, bro. Yeah.
I wish we had some video.
Left part. Like trying to get into the club. He's like, I know the owner. Let me in.
I'm on the list. They already in there.
On the list. Check it
again. Get me in.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing as hell.
I've had that happen before. God damn. Never again.
Eric. Eric, you're not supposed to share your own L's, okay?
No, man, he told me he was gonna get me in.
I was like, what did I just say? We don't project our L's onto the
Yeah, we don't project our own L's to the public, man.
He told me he was gonna get me in. He told me he was gonna get me in. I'm still mad about that. It ain't even right, dog.
He's still salty about that.
Yeah,
Right.
I am.
She's pissed
I am
off.
because it was a big party too. He said he was gonna get me in, and all of a sudden he acted like he couldn't remember me, and then he got caught up with some other chicks. Man, you know what? Fuck you, Nick.
No, it's gonna be okay, Eric. It's gonna be okay. All right. In other embarrassing-ish news, Arthur Smith, who is my future ex-husband, by the way, because I want that FedEx fortune. I want the FedEx fortune. Okay. You see? Okay, you understand now. The FedEx fortune. That's all. Yeah.
Everybody got a price.
That's as best you can get, if it, I guess. Like,
I do. I have a price. Billions.
She didn't even know who this man was until she learned. She learned he was from FedEx before she learned he was
No clue. No clue.
All right, stop calling me out, guys. Okay, so he, who was it? Frank Darby? Is that his fucking name? Yeah. Darby.
Yes,
that
that's
guy.
His name.
So he gets to talking about, I'm vocal. I'm a vocal leader on this team. In the rookie camp or whatever. And then Arthur's like, he needs to shut the fuck up because he hasn't been around the vets yet.
Not in those words exactly, but
right.
Close enough.
I don't know if he said that.
Thank you. Thank you. Close enough.
It's in that direction. It's just not those words.
Not those exact words, but it's close enough. All right. And I know Darby was probably like, damn, why is my coach calling me out like this?
The thing with Frank Darby is, and I think fans need to understand this from the get-go. Like, that's who he is. He's a very vocal individual. He has a ton of energy, and that's going to be him every game day, every practice. He's going to be the one on the sideline that's waving the towel and trying to get the crowd hype, and he's going to be the dap master. He's going to be dapping up everybody coming off the field. That's just who he is. I think that locker room kind of sort of needed that type of guy, in my opinion, because I don't think they really had that type of player. He's coming in the situation, he's a 6th-round draft pick, but he's super confident, and he should be. But Arthur Smith had to humble him a little bit, which is fine. If he wasn't going to get humbled on the first day of training camp anyway. But it is what it is. I mean, Again, I don't mind the attitude. I don't mind the energy. I don't mind the vocal skills that he brings to the team. I don't mind any of that because, again, I think he's really going to be a fan favorite before it's all said and done.
Rachel, what do you think about this while Eric reads this comment on the screen?
Looking silky.
Ain't never cocoa butter, baby. That's all that is.
I just think, to me, it's more about what I noticed was more about the coach in this situation, because, I mean, you guys are a lot closer to the situation than I am. I would love to be living in Atlanta still, and I would love to be having to talk about the Falcons every day, on radio and on TV as opposed to the Texans. But he feels so different to me than Dan Quinn, and that's just what I need in my life right now with my Falcons, is just the polar opposite. And I always felt like Dan Quinn was just kind of, I guess in some ways a player's coach is like a good thing, but also in a lot of ways I feel like it isn't. And I feel like if it was Dan Quinn there, he would have like amped him up. Like, he probably would have been like, oh yeah, I love that the young guys said that. And you know what? That's the type of culture fit that we want here. We want fast and physical and vocal. And but this guy's just like, dude needs to shut the fuck up. Like, he don't know what he's talking about. Like, rookie ass. And also, let's just remember that this team, as of right now, still has Julio Jones on it, still has Calvin Ridley on it, still has Russell Gage on it, and another wide receiver unicorn tight end now named Kyle Pitts. Like, I don't know if Darby's ever going to see the field, honestly, even if he got signed by the team. So I love that he's trying to make himself visible in any way, shape, or form that he can, because on this roster, when it comes to wide receivers, it'd probably be real easy to fade into the background. But to me, it was just way more about the coach. And I just like that he was just like rolled his eyes and just seems to me like he might be the coach that we need, like, for the culture shift. You know what I mean? Just polar opposite of Dan Quinn. And I appreciate that. So.
Facts. Josh, what did you think about this?
No, I completely agree with what Eric and Rachel said. I mean, Darby, he's gonna be that energy guy, and and I mean, of course, we need that on this team, but you gotta like tone it down just a little bit, and you actually have to do something when the vets get there. Like, yeah, you'll be balling with the other rookies or whatever, but you're gonna actually make your name when AJ Terrell get out there and Darby get out there, and you make plays against those guys, not just, hey, yeah, I'm out here doing my thing, but you actually have to let your game speak for you. And then once that speaks for you, then Arthur Smith, he may pump you up, or he may just tell you do even more. But I'm glad Arthur Smith said it, because like you said, if this was DQ, he would have been just cheerleading him on and just pumping his head up.
Facts. Jalen?
Fast and physical.
I'm tired of hearing that. God, dog.
Okay. It depends on like how everybody responds to it. Maybe Darby likes to be like hyped up like that. Maybe that'll make him take it to the next level. It just depends on the player. But that
Marcus.
You gotta get Marcus out of here, man. Get him out of the show.
Yo,
Josh was like, get in line.
Yo. Anyway,
I
like the whole earn it attitude that Arthur Smith has. That means everybody, the best people, are going to play regardless. There was a little bit of maybe complacency between like TD and Dan Quinn the last couple of seasons, where the best people weren't playing as much as they probably should have. Otherwise, they would have been benched Isaiah Oliver a lot longer than they would have. But I like it. I like Frank Darby though, so we'll see.
So the thing that stands out to me though, and I was saying it for years before Arthur Smith even got here, like this during the entire Dan Quinn era, like this is a locker room that didn't really have that swagger, didn't really have that confidence, didn't really have that attitude. So
but
that was about it. That was about it.
Yeah,
like
they had Sanu.
No offense, but their leaders in the locker room, like Julio. Julio is quiet. Julio was to himself. You know, Grady Jarrett was not necessarily a vocal guy. Vic Beasley definitely wasn't a damn vocal guy. Matt Ryan either. Like it's just the type of energy that Frank Darby has. I think the locker room always could have used. As far as his skill set, like we talked about it before. Like to me, I think he is a diamond in the rough, and I think he can really carve out a nice role for this team, especially in this rookie year. But I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Like I said, I already know in my mind. I already know day one of training camp, he's gonna get humbled. It's gonna happen. So I necessarily don't need Arthur Smith to tell him to kind of pipe it down. Like I already know once he get on that field, day one in training camp, somebody gonna shut him down, and he's gonna be back to normal. So
can he play defense? Because I mean, he sound like every other defensive back out there. You know, I'm gonna set the tone. Like, can you just set the tone for defense, please? Do something.
Nah, I don't mind my receiver going out there and saying I'm gonna set the tone.
Right.
Okay.
I was gonna say the same thing too. We kind of need someone on the opposite side, except for the lineman, to go out there and set the tone.
All right.
Like, you need somebody in skill position. Like, hey, we about to set the tone right now.
Right. He brings. I get what you're saying, though, Richard. Like, he brings that defensive mentality to the offense, and that's what's cool about it. And I don't mind that.
Even if he got what do we expect from him? What is he, like, special teamer? Special teams? Like, how are you gonna how much
he's gonna play?
Starting, I mean,
he's gonna play.
He can ball. He
going to play.
He averaged 20 yards per catch in college. So he's
in the Pac-12.
I'm just saying he's gonna play regardless because he has good speed and route running. Like, especially if they're gonna tailor the offense how I think they're going to, where there's gonna be more pass heavy because that's where your guns are. He's going to play.
He's going to play,
especially because like Marcus said, Julio's gonna miss probably about 3-4 games this season, or he's gonna be hurt. I mean, and then you still need somebody beside Calvin Ridley to fit that like deep threat role mode as well. Like, of course, you have Kyle Pitts and all that, but like, I don't think
defenses are not really going to care about Frank Darby, and that's the good thing because they're going to be so focused on Julio and Kyle Pitts, and then that's when that deep threat that he brings is going to help the offense. It's going to expand the offense. So that's why I think he can really carve out a role as a rookie. But like I said, I like his mentality. I like his attitude. It's cool. I already know he's gonna get shut down. He's gonna get humbled day one anyway. So
he said day one he's gonna get humbled.
Oh yeah. Somebody's gonna stick him day one. Like, I'm not worried about
somebody's gonna put him on his ass and it's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, somebody will. Somebody will.
Yeah,
that's just how it works.
Yeah.
Nah, that's just how it works.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see on video. All right. Everyone wants to know. We have to talk about this every single time. The Julio alleged trade.
He's not going nowhere. Next.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Next question.
He's not going anywhere.
Is he going to do anything, though?
I'm sorry.
Like, is it going to restructure or do anything, or like, what's going to happen? Tell me, please.
I think there's more of a likelihood that they're going to restructure for Grady than anything else. They could.
I don't think they're going to touch Julio.
Yeah, technically they could restructure Julio, but I don't know if Julio wants to get restructured at this point. Mm-hmm. The thing that I brought up on Twitter the other day is, They want something in return for Julio. Like, and I'm not talking like they're not going to trade Julio for a 4th round pick. That would be stupid as hell. But every day that goes by, the less likelihood of him getting traded, in my opinion, because his draft value will go down. So when training camp hits, no one's going to be trading. They're not going to be trading for Julio Jones when training camp hits, unless there's a major wide receiver 1 injury. Then you may see those rumors start back up. But until then, I think the likelihood as the days go by, it lessens and lessens. And I don't think a team is really going to offer a 1st or a 2nd round pick for Julio at this stage. Like, the draft is over. Free agency is pretty much winding down. If anybody wanted to offer and bring in Julio, they would have done it already by now. So I think he's a Falcon in 2021.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, how many times did Julio not really hold out, but kind of hold out? Wait, he's kind of like demanded more money twice, right? It's happened twice?
Yes. Yeah, he got his first deal, and like 2 years later, he was already ready for a new deal after they had already made him the highest paid receiver. And then that's when he had went through that whole sitting out training camp thing, and everybody started freaking out, and he started training with Terrell Owens, and everybody really started freaking out. But yeah, he's done it twice, so that's why I don't think he's even. Go ahead.
If I remember correctly, wasn't the reason why he like sat out that one time because I think Odell got his contract? And Odell was making like much more money than him, and he would just like, hold on.
Oh
yeah.
He was like, hold on a little bit. He was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
And then it happened again. But I never thought it was a problem him sitting out the season.
He got his first deal. When he got his first deal, he was the highest paid receiver. I think by the end of that season, he was like the 8th or 9th highest paid receiver.
Everybody got paid after that.
He fell hard. He was like, wait a minute, hold on. Like his $14 million a year at that point in time was nothing at that point. So that's why I don't think at this point they could restructure him if they wanted to, but I think right now at this stage of his career, I think he'll probably hang the phone up in their face if they even try to do something like that.
Yeah,
he's not going to want to touch that deal. Everything's guaranteed at this point, so he's fine.
Such a horrible situation, and I remember the second time I don't even remember if he actually sat out. Or was it just the media saying he's gonna, like his agent, I guess, feeding the media, he's gonna sit out? I don't remember.
He sat
Okay,
out.
he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
He sat
out training camp.
But it didn't concern me. Like, he was Julio. He doesn't need training camp.
He hadn't played training camp in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
It was a non-story that people were trying to push to get him traded.
Yeah. That I didn't worry about. I think the fans started to freak out a little bit more when they saw he was working out with Terrell Owens, which I thought was a smart move at that point in his career because, let's be quite honest, Terrell Owens, because it looked like he could still play today because he's in such great shape. So that's why I didn't mind Julio working out with him. I don't. I'm not bothered by it at all. I think Julio will be a Falcon in 2021. He should be. If you're pushing this, we're trying to win now mentality. Why trade the best player on the team? Like that's what I'm trying. I can't understand that.
You know what? I don't. Of course, I don't want to see Julio go anywhere. I don't. You know, he's one of the greatest, if not maybe the greatest. I don't know. He's up there, one of the best players to ever put on the jersey. But with that being said, look, wide receivers, it's a position that, in my opinion, is currently being devalued. You know what I mean? You can have one of the top 3 best wide receivers on your team and still only win 4 games in a season. I've seen it here in Houston, seen it there in Atlanta. Like, you know, I mean, they had DeAndre Hopkins. He goes to Arizona, which is a much better, you know, much more better. What am I saying? More better constructed roster in Arizona, and they still only win 7 games. And it would have been 6 had he not gone up and caught a ridiculous Hail Mary pass. You know what I mean? Right. Like, so I guess whenever you have a team that has so many damn needs on it, especially like just overall in general in the NFL, I feel like the position is being somewhat devalued. But then when you factor in to a team that has so many glaring needs, and also the receiver position with or without him is still pretty solid whenever you put it in contrast to other teams in the league. It's like, okay, well, how bad do we need Julio Jones? Because, I mean, unless he can, you know, block for Matt Ryan, you know, and protect him in the trenches or be an edge rusher or something like that, like, really, I don't know how much he's helping the team right now. Like, it's great for the fans. It's great for fantasy football. It's great for the stats column, and it certainly helps Matt Ryan's stats. But overall, I don't know how close right now he is getting you to a Super Bowl ring. I don't see a massive drop-off with or without. Like, I don't know. Y'all can tell me I'm crazy if you think that. But I just feel like on this team, he is – No, crazy.
I don't think you're crazy at all.
That's okay.
I think you're thinking how we should be thinking about Julio, but we like.
But it's hard, right?
Because it is Julio. But you have a point. Like, I forgot who said it in sports media, but they're like, you're not gonna win with like a great receiver like a Julio or a Calvin Ridley. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago they said that. Well, it was before Calvin retired, they said that. And that's been in the back of my head ever since someone said that in sports media. I'm like, damn, I mean, they might have a point because nobody with a great receiver has won a Super Bowl since, you know, way back in the day.
Yeah, and it's really wide receivers, whenever you get a big name like that or one of the best in the league, that has to be the piece that you're missing. It can't be you have the best wide receiver and maybe like a top 10 quarterback and then really nothing else around them and we're going to go out and win. Like, there's just so many more needs that it kind of makes that position moot in some way, shape, or form. But I totally understand that, it, you know, as Homer fans, like, you don't want to see Julio go. I totally get it.
Well, so, I can say that as you could go. But as somebody who has, like, I have more attachment to Matt Ryan than I do Julio Jones, even though I love Julio and I think he's the best player to ever touch a Falcon jersey. But it's way more like it's not as simple as a wide receiver costs much money. Wide receiver doesn't produce that much. Yes, you can win. The last couple of years, people have won without superstar talent wide receivers. However, you need so much more investment into everything else. Especially like if that's how you want to build your team, then you have to make sure that that's how you build your team. They built the team right now to be 100% offensive. They made that choice when they didn't draft the quarterback. They made that choice with all their offseason moves. And even if you traded Julio now or any other time before that, you still have his dead money, and you still don't have any option to replace any part of his production at all.
Right.
You don't have. You're not going to trade Julio. Nobody's going to give you Brian Burns. Nobody's going to give you like a player of a superstar that you need talent. It's just not going to happen at this point.
To me, because you're talking about, that Tony guy who was saying about turning down $15 million in cap savings. So the way his contract is structured, they'll save $15 million this year, but they'll endure the same amount of debt cap next year. Yeah. So they'll save $15 million this year, but they'll get hit up for $15 million in debt cap next offseason. So is it worth trading for a 4th round pick? Because it gives you the room this year, but you'll still be paying for it. Now, of course, the dead cap would lessen if he's traded next offseason, which I think is a real possibility. Yeah. But yeah, you get temporary relief this year, and you're not getting anything in return, in my opinion.
Y'all gotta stop coming for Josh.
Please.
Okay.
Keep it up.
Okay, we have another question. Can I get your guys' D-line starter predictions?
Those are pretty simple. I think it's going to be Means, Grady, Tyler Davidson, and Fowler.
Yep.
In some capacity, depending on if they're going to run more 3-4, 4-3, doesn't matter too much. Those are going to be the base 4 people.
So what's your 3-4 outlook?
Grady they're probably run Means on one side, and then I don't even know who they would put at the other end. Like they'd probably do the rookie they drafted, for all I know.
They just throw Marlon out there because he's like that tweener, D tackle type.
Yeah, I haven't done a super deep dive into their D-line construction, because I know I after the draft and then free agency, I just knew that they were going to punt on it for the most part. So I was like, I'm not going to really care about that until the season starts.
That is definitely my biggest concern on the defensive side of the ball for this team.
Always, it has been my concern with them for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I mean,
I forgot about Kaminsky. He'll definitely be the other end. I forgot about him.
I think it'll be, as far as defensive line goes, it'll be Grady at one end. You'll have Tyler Davidson at nose, and then you'll probably have either Kaminsky or Marlon Davidson battle it out for that last defensive end spot. As far as your stand-up linebackers, Fowler.
It'll be Fowler, Walker. It'll be Fowler, Walker, Deion Jones, and Foye.
Yeah,
that'll be it.
I don't know what they're doing with Fowler, man.
I don't know. They should have cut him this season.
Wasting our time.
I'll be 100% honest. They should have cut him this season.
If they were going to keep him, fine, all right. Because I like what they did with his contract. They pretty much took all.
They told him to prove it.
Prove it, yeah. They made all his money pretty much incentive based, which is smart because you're making a veteran say, if you want to be on this team, you want to get this payday, right, show us you can get this payday. But they didn't bring anything in insurance in case he doesn't. And I'm really concerned about that because at this point, I don't know if I can really trust Dante Fowler to be edge one right now. I can't trust him to go out there and get 10 sacks. So
I can't trust him to go out there and get 6 sacks at this point, especially he hasn't done it at all in any of his spots besides the Rams. That he had the best defensive lineman in the last 3 years on his team.
Right.
Exactly.
I don't trust him to do that. This could all be pointless and everything because there's still a bunch of very good edges in the free agency. And they still have to make money to sign people, but I don't know how much better you're going to get than that. So again, I just think they're going to punt on that this year.
Great point. I don't know how much better. I mean, you can bring in a couple of veteran guys. They could have bought in Ryan Kerrigan, but it really wasn't going to be that much of a boost to the defense.
You know what's crazy? Ryan Kerrigan would be here in his 33 or whatever older self, and he'd probably be the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is like Daniil Hunter is still out there, but he's been falling off a cliff since he didn't want to play for the Vikings and everything like that. There's a lot of players that could be good, but you would be wasting time or roster spots if you did it. I don't know.
Not to mention they waited until day 3 to address the position in the draft, and that really concerns me, to be honest with you, because it wasn't a top heavy edge rusher draft, but it was real deep. You really could have got a quality starter in round 2.
Got a bunch of rotational pieces.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, man, if I know how Dean Pease operates, but if he really has to rely on the blitz to get some sacks this year, man, that Falcons defense is going to be in trouble. I'll be honest with you.
Didn't the sack leader last year? Who had the most sacks on our team? Was it 4 sacks last year?
I know
Exactly.
Everybody had it was like 4 or 5.
Dion had more. Dion had more.
Literally.
Yeah, Dion had more sacks than Falcons last year. Definitely.
Grady and like everybody else had like sacks.
I think Grady led the team.
Dion had 4.5 sacks, and Fowler had what, 3?
He had that many?
2.5 or 1.
Yeah, 2.5.
I thought he had 1. And he got that one.
Sure.
He got that one in Tampa, which is week 17.
Yeah, I know. I know he had like a coverage sack, and then he had like 1 sack and like 3 or 4 like tackle for losses or something like that. Because he had 1 at a goal line against somebody that counted as a tackle for loss.
Oh, he had that against the Lions when he tackled Adrian Peterson in the backfield. He had 3 sacks. Okay, he had 3 sacks.
3? What?
I don't remember the other 3. Those might have been
exactly. That's how you know they were either non-important or completely coverage sacks or like just random effort sacks.
He just tapped the quarterback as he ran by. That's what it was.
Yes,
I guess
they can keep drafting
the Big BZ
young
2016
DBs.
special.
They can draft all the young DBs they want, but unless the front 7 are getting pressure, it doesn't mean jack. You know what I mean? And like
right.
I'm tired of young DBs. I don't like them, period. Like if I was the general manager of a team, I would be really hesitant because there's just such a huge learning curve for that position. Specifically, in my opinion, it takes a while for you. There's a couple, 2 or 3 years before you really, really making an impact, unless you're just one of those rare unicorns. But I mean, I'm kind of overdrafting young defensive backs while we ain't got no pass rush.
So here's the difference between Dean Pease and Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn emphasized the front 4 a lot more than Dean Pease does. Dean Pease, he'd rather work from the back up. So the secondary is the big thing for him, getting those coverage guys, because he feels he can scheme pressure in any way. Like he can blitz from the slot and you won't know. He can disguise blitzes so creatively. So he emphasizes having a lot more structure on the back end than Dan Quinn.
So he can be able to do all of that stuff.
Right. So he can be able to do whatever. It gives him a lot more flexibility with that. So I get that, but at the same time, it's like, man, we saw last year how this team really struggled to even touch the quarterback unless they blitz. And we're bringing in a philosophy that stresses that. We're bringing in a philosophy that's all about getting pressure with disguises and mixing coverages on the back end. So it concerns me, and it concerns me even more when they say, Dante Fowler, you're our lead edge rusher. Go out there and prove it. I'm scared. I'm scared. I really am.
See, I have my concern just because I know I don't expect the pass rush to be. I expect them to have maybe about at most 40 sacks this season, which is like bottom edge of the league.
Which is fair, but I think the leading sacker on the defense is probably going to have like 6.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be like 6, 4, 4, 3, 2, 2.
Yeah.
Like,
it'll be
then like a corner will have like 5.
Yeah, and Fowler will have 2.5. So yeah.
But I also like that they didn't like really reach for any draft. Like the picks that they took, I think they took the right person at most, except for Jalen Mayfield, which was you can question that whatever with who you have on the roster. That's for debate. I like Jalen Mayfield. My cousin, because he has my name.
I think reasonable expectations for this defense this year, as they kind of get acclimated under DMPs, is if you're expecting a top 10 defense, if you're expecting a top 12 defense, you're going to be disappointed.
If you're expecting a top 16 defense, then you're probably
you might get disappointed. I think this a reasonable expectation this year is to expect some progression from last year, but I'm looking more at if this defense can really create some turnovers. If this defense can become top 10, top 12 in takeaways, we might be working with something.
Yeah.
Outside of that, just don't really have much expectations for that because again, it's a new scheme. There's not a ton of playmakers on this defensive side of the ball yet. And again, I'm concerned about them getting a pass rush without blitzing somebody. I don't think they can at this point. So we'll see. But that's my expectations. They need to be top 12 in takeaways this year. And I think they can win some games if they are.
I don't want them blitzing 80% of the time if they're not gonna get to them though, because you die that way, you know.
You might as well get used to it, Rachel. That's what they're gonna be doing.
Yeah, I was saying.
That's what they're gonna be doing.
Good luck with that.
They're going to be blitzing.
Yeah,
the one thing I do love about it though is he doesn't tempt he doesn't show his blitzes. He doesn't show his hand. He's one of the best. He's one of the best schemers in the league when it comes to disguising blitzes from certain formations. And that's what I really love about his defense. You look back on film, there was a time when they played the Patriots a couple years ago when he was at Tennessee, and man, did he confuse the hell out of Tom Brady for 4 quarters. And that's a hard feat to do. The fact that you're able to do that without showing your hand. So I think, like I said, you might as well get used to that, Rachel. Like they're going to blitz. They're going to blitz a lot.
Unless I don't know what the next year's draft is going to look like. I haven't done anything towards that. But until there's like a player either in free agency or in the draft that is going to be that kind of like pass rusher.
Oh, there's one.
They're going to have
one in next year's draft.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anybody. You can say a name right now, and I cannot tell you who it is. So
Kayvon Thibodeau.
All right, let's get into Rachel's business real quick since everyone is starting to ask. Okay, Rachel, they want to know what the dogs' names are and where did you get them?
I got them off the streets of Houston. And Jordy is the big boy, the Weimaraner pit bull mix, and then the little girl, that's Charlie. They're both rescues.
Oh, that's so sweet. I miss my dog. Whew. Okay.
Love that.
All right. So how long have you been a Falcons fan and what made you become a Falcons fan?
I lived in Atlanta for probably about 3.5 years, maybe, when I was a teenager. And during that time, I went to the first football game I ever saw in person, professional football game, was Falcons game. I think it was versus the Panthers. And it was in the Michael Vick era, and he was hot shit. So of course I fell in love. I'm a native Houstonian, but I just lived in Atlanta for a couple of years. I fell in love with the city, loved it, never wanted to come back here. Don't get me wrong, Houston's nice and everything. I'm not dogging it. I love Houston, but I if somebody called me today and said, "Hey Rachel, I got a great job for you in Atlanta," I'd be like, "Okay, coming, on my way." And I don't know. I just fell in love with the Falcons, and I guess they chose me. I didn't choose them.
Josh doesn't appreciate Mike Vick and what he brought to the Falcons.
Here we go.
So,
I'm so sorry about that, Rachel.
He doesn't.
He was exciting, but we really wasn't winning. I don't care for a 50-yard TD run and we still losing to the Browns 27-13. Like I don't care for that.
Whatever.
But
John.
he was in music videos, Josh.
I forgot. That's true.
He was in Rubber Band Man. Like, come on, bro. Like,
come on.
And a whole icon. A lot of us, including me, became a Falcons fan because of
Vic.
Mike Vick.
Yep.
Because of Vick.
Except Josh.
Vick.
Josh.
It was actually
and me.
Oh, Jake.
Are all of y'all in Atlanta?
Then again,
I'm not. No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's not. Breeze is not.
Then again, I am the youngest one. I am the youngest one in here, so.
Okay.
But y'all are in Georgia, right?
So my
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm in Atlanta.
Well,
okay.
Right now.
I'm in Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
That's like a nursing home city.
Hey, man. Hey, look. You gonna stop talking about the Carolinas, man, all right?
I was in Charlotte, man. I trust.
Don't do that. Don't do that, man.
Charlotte best barbecue.
Thank you.
Best barbecue, and I live in Texas. The best. Hey, calm down. Sorry, but no, good food over there.
They're completely fine.
No,
yeah,
Atlanta is great though.
What'd you say?
I said the barbecue in Charlotte, North Carolina.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Charlotte's a growing city, dude. Charlotte will be the next Atlanta.
In 2014. I heard the same thing.
It's growing, man. Leave me alone. Judgmental ass.
Y'all stop fighting. We have company, damn it. Damn.
Oh, Richard ain't coming.
All right. So you have several shows out here. You're on ESPN Radio, right? Yeah, ESPN Radio. YouTube. It's a gambling betting show. I don't know the proper term to call it because they're like, no, betting is bad. Like they're always trying to say it. That's bad. And you're in Houston Sports Show.
I'm pretty sure Rachel can attest to this, but sports betting is starting to, be its own thing at this point. It's really starting to take off.
Oh yeah, no, it's huge. I think it's legal in 26, 27 states right now. Louisiana, it's already been passed. It just hasn't been put into effect. I know it's been introduced in Texas. So it's huge. It's growing. One of the best stocks I ever invested in was Penn National Gaming, and they basically own FanDuel, from what I understand. So I mean, no, it's huge. It's growing, and I apologize for my dogs. Just tripping. But no, it's huge, and it's a lot of people are getting in on it now. I think that in probably the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to have a 24/7 network on TV, on cable, that's going to just be devoted to sports betting. I mean, it's a cult. It's a cult. And once you get sucked in, I have a lot of friends that'll hit me up, like guy friends. They'll be like, hey, Rachel, I want to learn how to bet on football before next season starts. Like, I want you to teach me. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like, let me just stop you now. Let me protect you and your bank account. Don't do it. It's like giving a friend crack. You wouldn't do that, right? Because you love your friend. I'm not giving them crack. So yeah, Jesus. No, but it's blowing up. It's blowing up, and I plan on capitalizing on it. So
You said Louisiana hasn't passed the bill yet?
They have. It just hasn't gone into effect. But I think by the time the fall football season starts, they should start having sports books in Louisiana. But it's crazy, right? Because you go there, at least here in Texas, we go to Lake Charles in Louisiana all the time to gamble. And the last time I went there for work, because we have a deal, the Golden Nugget is a big sponsor of our show. So every couple months we have to go do a radio show and a TV show from there. And I'm sitting there in the middle, I think it was November, and I'm trying to set my fantasy football lineup, and I can't do it on FanDuel because the location. So you could not play fantasy football there. You could not. None of the casinos have a sports book. It's ridiculous. I'm like, why are you picking and choosing what people can blow their money on? Let them do it on sports too. But now
it's Louisiana.
I get yeah. Enough said. No, but I'm waiting on Texas. Just Vegas and Louisiana. There's other states around Texas that have casinos, but mainly Louisiana and Las Vegas. They don't want it to become legal in Texas because they don't want to lose that Texas money.
I'm surprised it hasn't really taken off in the state of Texas as of yet.
Yeah.
That's pretty shocking.
Today is going to be the first time I've ever legally bet on a sporting event.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm excited. Yeah, it's a big day for me.
And what event was that?
Well, I just pulled into, I'm in Mississippi now. And they have sports books here at the casino. So I'm going to be here for a night and bet on tomorrow's NBA games. Hopefully Wednesday.
All right, cool. So I know you're at your destination. I'm gonna
take the over on the Lakers.
What'd you say? The over under on the Lakers.
Take the over on the Lakers first half. Take the under on the second half because then it's gonna slow down. First half points prop bet's probably gonna be somewhere around 17 for LeBron. Take the over.
Oh my goodness.
Till he tweaks an ankle.
A little something.
Oh, don't do that.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. I didn't say I wish that on him. I didn't say that.
She just knows.
You just see him, he tweaking a little tweak here, a little tweak there.
Yeah.
You knew what he was doing.
We might see playoff LeBron this time around. I'm pretty sure we will. We're gonna see.
Of
we're gonna
course.
see vintage
I can't
playoff
wait.
LeBron. 40 and 12. 40 and
Yep.
12.
Just so I can see Josh hating on the timeline. Oh,
Yep.
I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hopefully he does do something. I mean,
Josh hates everything great in sports. I don't understand.
wait.
He don't like
You
it.
do.
He don't like.
You
He
do.
don't like Vic. He don't like Vic. He don't like mobile quarterbacks. He can't stand LeBron.
He don't like black quarterbacks.
He don't like black quarterbacks.
No,
Like you just hate everything in sports, bro. Like
no,
what's up?
y'all assume that Justin and Cam are the only black quarterbacks in the NFL.
Those are the only black quarterbacks you talk about. Let's just be honest here, okay?
Right,
Yeah.
because they're good to me. I love Russ. I love Watson. I love Jackson.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You be slandering. He just be lying.
Slandered the hell out of Lamar.
We're not slandering Jackson. I never slandered Jackson. Never.
Hold on.
All
I
right.
slandered Jackson. It's okay, Josh.
Why?
We can slander him together.
No,
I just like to poke fun of it. Look, I went to the University of Houston, okay? And
Okay.
one of the most favorable, greatest moments of my college football partying career was Lamar Jackson. I think Louisville was ranked number 2 or number 3. It was Thursday night game on ESPN. University of Houston, smaller school, right? We don't get a lot of primetime games.
They got
And
rocked.
we rocked his ass.
Yeah.
Rocked his ass. I think Ed Oliver sacked him 11 times alone. I think he got sacked like 13 times in that game. And it was fantastic because then he rolled up in here. That was the same year that we beat number 3 Oklahoma and like 4 other ranked teams, but we didn't get the playoffs because like we lost to Navy. So, but anyways, it was fun. We stormed the field. Like I jumped on that Oliver's back. Like it was fantastic. It was a great night. So ever since then, I'm just like, yeah, because they came rolling in there like acting like they were gonna stomp us, obviously, and it just didn't happen. So maybe
Josh calls him a glorified running back, and I know I'm not the
I
only one.
mean-
No. Please show me that.
we said it about
I
Tebow.
think
Why
I
not?
got Nick.
Oh, well, that's true. Okay,
Oh.
that's ho. That's true about Tebow. Okay, there's no. He don't
He
belong.
literally
know.
came back to play
I
a
know.
glorified running back position.
He doesn't. I don't know why this man is on an NFL roster. Like seriously.
Why
Well,
do they
I
think
take
that
that
he
back.
can
We talked
run
about that
routes
last
and
week.
catch passes?
Because-
Like, wouldn't it make more sense to be a fullback or a running back? That's what he did. Always.
My thing is with this. He hasn't played in the game in what 6 years, 7
Yeah.
years. He's
Yeah.
33 years. He's 33 years old. The only reason he was signed was because of Urban Meyer. You mean to tell me all this time, for years, teams has been trying to push him to play the tight end position. He's declined it, and now all of a sudden, now he wants to play the tight end when he's playing for Urban Meyer in Jacksonville. It's a clown show. It is a straight circus show to me. And for anyone that wants to use an excuse as far as him trying to get ticket sales, that's BS. You just hired Urban Meyer to be your first-time NFL head coach, and you just drafted Trevor Lawrence. What the hell is Tebow going to do as far as ticket sales go compared to that?
True.
Watch him weasel his way into like a team chaplain type of role, kind of like Jack Easterby, and then end up being the GM of the team, basically.
Just make him the chaplain now, then. Like, don't give him a roster spot. Like,
it's all for show. It's a
if
joke.
you want him for the locker room, make him a damn head coach. I mean, make him an assistant coach. Give him a T-shirt. Make him like the assistant strength and conditioning coach, and call it a day. Like, you guys are giving away a roster spot, and Jags fans are not going to go to the game to watch Tim Tebow. He's probably not even going to be on the damn field if he makes the roster. I don't get.
He
that,
better
man.
not make a roster.
He better not
He
make
should
a roster spot. No, that's bullshit,
Bro,
That
I
really
could go out there right now and probably do better than Tim Tebow after 6 years of not playing. And don't make that a thing.
Urban Meyer. There's a coach that will make it a thing. It's Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you're at your destination. So I want to get your quick thoughts about the draft and the new regime overall.
I'm really stoked about the new regime. I mean, I don't know what to expect defensively, as we've discussed, but from an offensive standpoint, I know that this team doesn't have a Derrick Henry, and I know that their offense did a lot of what it did because he's on the field. Just having him on the field makes an impact, right? But no, I just think back. Look, I'm a big fan of like the West Coast offense. I loved Gary Kubiak's offense here in Houston. Kyle Shanahan, right? 2016, great season.
Justin,
I don't know what to think of, but I'm thinking it's going to be like West Coast style, maybe a zone blocking scheme, run heavy, maybe. I don't know.
That's exactly what it's going to be. Yep.
Okay, well, I'm great with that. And you know what? Who else is great with that? Quarterbacks. That is a quarterback-friendly offense. I mean, God, look what it did for Ryan Tannehill. Matt Ryan don't need no help. So just imagine, you know what? Like, we can't blow 30-point leads anymore if we're scoring 50 points a game, you know?
Right,
you just think about it that way. So I'm excited.
Right. That's exactly what it's going to be as far as offense goes.
That's great. Do we have the offensive linemen to do that? I hope so.
We're gonna see.
I believe they do.
So the interesting thing about that is in Tennessee he dealt with more of the big beefy blockers. He doesn't have that in Atlanta now. So I think what you're gonna see now is more of those outside zone runs. And I think pretty much the only difference between his offense and Shanahan's is you may see a few more deep shots, but the play action is still going to be huge. The various route concepts are still going to be huge. Like I said, the outside zone concept, the run game is going to be part of it. So he doesn't need a Derrick Henry. I don't know why people kept doing that. Like,
I don't think that he needs one. I'm just saying a lot of the success that they had came just having him on the field is a really big deal, you know?
Right,
so it opens up a lot. But the play action, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see Matt Ryan getting sacked all the time. I want to see bootleg, play action, zone blocking, maybe some 2 tight end sets.
Plenty of that.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. That's exciting to watch.
You know what, Rachel? He does have his Derrick Henry, but it's at a different position. It's Kyle Pitts. That's his Derrick Henry.
The unicorn.
Julio Jones. Yeah.
And Julio. Julio. He has 2 Derrick Henrys on this offense. They just play different positions. That's all that is.
I'm down with it. No, I'm excited. It's the best that I feel like we could ask, and it's just the opposite of Dan Quinn. I'm just so, I'm just at that phase, like whenever you go through you've been in a long relationship, like a toxic relationship with somebody who's like not motivated in life or something, then you just want the next workaholic that you meet. Like that's who you want to be with next. Like that's where I'm at with this.
And everything that they do is better than that ex. And literally everything that they do
at least for a minute. At least for a minute, and then you're like, oh, starts to go bad again. You're like, man, did I really have to break up with them? No, I'm just kidding. Ain't nobody gonna miss Dan Quinn. I don't even know how the hell he got a defensive coordinator. I do not understand how he got a defensive coordinator job that quickly. I don't get it.
You know what'd be crazy? I wouldn't be surprised if they were like a top 15 defense randomly.
Don't say that.
I wouldn't be surprised because that's how stuff works. Because that's how stuff works for Atlanta.
Yeah.
You fire him. They have the worst defense of all time. And he goes somewhere else with random new pieces, and they end up being like average to good.
All I know is I want to see a 40 burger against the Cowboys.
Yeah, man. I want to see like 400 yards, 4 touchdowns.
They better do 40.
Yeah.
They don't have no linebacker. They have like one good linebacker too. I need to see all the slants across the middle. I need to see Kyle Pitts have 100 yards.
I want to wherever King got a meal at, throw Ridley over there and just go have fun.
If the Falcons score 38, I'm gonna be a little disappointed. I'll be honest with you. I need 40 on them. Shot 40.
No onside kicks, please. None of that.
None of that.
Nah, let them do those.
Please. Oh, no more. Like for the rest of my life.
I don't understand how a team that can convert onside kicks so well couldn't defend one. Like I
don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, we won't go there. We won't go there. Today's a good day, I think.
Nobody knows how that happened. Well, at least we don't. We just
almost cried.
I laughed. I sat. I think I was at work and I watched it happen because it was a delay, and I saw my timeline going crazy about it. And then I looked at the TV, and then I just saw it happen. I just instantly just laughed. Like I wasn't even mad or anything. I was just laughing.
Nah, I was in disbelief. I was
To me, the season was over at that point.
yeah.
Even though
I
it was
was
the
just.
second
I was
game,
in tears.
the season was over at that point.
No,
Because
I can believe. I'm like, oh no, the ref they gonna sort it out. We about to get the ball. We about to kneel out the clock and leave.
Nope.
And I was like, no, they're pointing to Dallas. I'm like, oh my god.
the season was over at that point because I can't see a team mentally getting over that and recovering from that and still be able to win. Yeah, that at that point of the year, I was like, yeah, it's a done deal. They're not making the playoffs.
It was so early. It was so early, and you were already
two.
done.
It was week 2 because again, this is a team that collapsed in the Super Bowl and still couldn't deal with it the next offseason. So I just already knew, and they're still kind of fighting those ghosts from the Super Bowl. And I just already knew, like the way that they lost to Dallas, there's no way this team is going to bounce back the next week and beat Chicago, which of course that was another collapse.
Oh Lord, yeah, that was the worst. Nick Foles, like, come on, that one murdered me. I still have to get a tattoo because I lost a bet. The bet is I have until November to do it, and I'm really struggling with this one. I either have to get Ludacris's face tattooed on me from the Word of Mouth album, or Word of Mouth album.
That's a very underrated album, by the way.
It's a great album.
Yeah.
But the cover art of the album, he's got like a pit bull in this small room. With the
wide mouth, yeah.
So I have to get that tattooed on me, or I have to get 28-3 tattooed on me.
Oh,
Ludacris.
Luda.
Yeah.
Luda.
Only Falcons fans say that. Everybody else is like, get 28-3. It'll be easier to cut. Oh, I can only get it covered up whenever the Falcons win a Super Bowl. That's the deal.
Get Luda. Yeah,
Luda.
just go ahead.
That's how I feel also.
Right there on the shoulder. Yeah.
Everybody else thinks that's crazy though. They're like, no, get 28-3. It's easier to cover up. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
No.
That happened right here in Houston in front of my face. I cried.
Nope.
No.
Me too. I took work off. Yeah, Luda all the way.
Yeah.
I mean, then you're gonna be fucking awesome, like going around with that. Like, oh, you're a Luda fan? Hell yeah! Like,
yep, I love that album. That's my favorite Luda album.
Yep. Good times.
That is it. So thank you so much for joining us in your
Thank you for having me.
Ride, travels, all that good stuff. Really appreciate you coming on. You'll have to come back on here again. All of her information is in the description box below. Y'all make sure y'all go check it out. And hopefully you can get to Atlanta soon because I hate these motherfuckers on this radio in Atlanta. I hate them.
Yeah, I'm going to come up there. I'm going to come up there this season and watch the game. I'm also going to try to go to London if I can. Anybody going to London? Anybody?
I wish.
I wasn't planning on it, but
that's so much work.
Just to watch the Falcons for me is like, no.
Even though I do have my best work, but no, I'm going.
I'm waiting on mine to come
watch
in.
the Falcons do some dumb shit. Oh, I would love to see that.
Yeah,
we have a new coach, man. Come on, Jalen.
Still, man.
I mean, I feel like
what has having a new coach ever done for them doing dumb shit?
I feel like they have to. Like they have to have a historical collapse internationally. Like you got to do it.
They've already done it. They already did it.
Well, it was.
They already did it in London.
It had to happen again
against Detroit.
You got to, Jalen's right. They got to do it again.
Yeah, it has to happen.
It's time again. You know what I'm saying?
That defines.
I don't like y'all's attitude. I don't like your attitude. I need some optimism. It's a new GM. It's a new coach. It's a new regime. We got a unicorn on offense named Kyle Pitts.
Dan Quinn did this. Dan Quinn did this to us. Okay?
I know. It's PTSD for sure. We're all traumatized.
That's it. We're traumatized, man. We're traumatized. You're out here calling us out all night over here. But we really appreciate you. Anyone have any shout outs? Rachel, do you have any? Shall we do shout outs at the end? Any shout outs you want to give to anyone?
Shout outs? Man, that caught me off guard. Shout out Matt Ryan. Happy belated birthday, Matt Ryan. And
my quarterback.
That's my quarterback. No, yeah. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on. And I'm going to put you on to Johnny VTV. he does betting all the time. So I told him about you. So I'm gonna get y'all connected to do a show if that's cool with you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hook it up. Hook it up, girl.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'll slide
Eric,
a
you got any
follow.
shout outs?
Not really.
Okay,
you
bye.
know, whoa.
Yes, Eric, what is your shout out?
Now you know what? I want to give a shout out to Jake. I want to give a shout out to J. Cole, man. Shout out to my guy J. Cole.
We could have skipped him. Josh, what's your shout out?
No. You asked me for my shout out. You go get this shout out, girl. All right.
Josh, what's your shout out?
You better not go, Josh. You better not go.
Are you done?
You better not go. I got some pictures in my. You better not go.
Josh wants to give a shout out to the Braves.
I'm not gonna shout out the Braves. That's not my team. I'll let Josh.
No, that video he posted the other day, it's stuck in my head still.
Which one?
Those girls that were wasn't that you, Josh? You posted it. The girls in the Braves out, and you said this is why they suck so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they blew another lead tonight.
Oh, good.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your.
No. It's fine.
You're fine. You're fine. I forgot about that.
It's fine. Go ahead. Shout out to J. Cole. I'm done.
Josh, what are your shout outs?
Shout out to Rachel. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for everybody who tuned in tonight also. And shout out to my son, Casey. I had to put him to bed. That's why it's kind of late coming in tonight. I had to rock him to sleep. So
child abuse.
That's how you feel?
That wasn't me, though. That wasn't me. I was watching.
Okay.
Jalen, you got any shout outs?
Shout out to Eric and Rachel for coming on. This is the first time I've actually been able to get on with Eric. So finally, across another person off on the list. And Rachel, it was a pleasure having you. I'll definitely slide you a follow, whatever. I don't follow that many people anymore. People be,
he really
Aww. Oh, so special. Thank you.
People be blowing up my timeline with dumb shit, and I don't. Everybody's not worth my time. I think.
Yes, been patient.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And then on top of that, I got to do the usual. Shout out to Aaron, because I do that on every show. So shout out to Aaron and everybody that showed up tonight. And shout out to Padre for finally getting my name right, and Marcus for whatever the hell Marcus does.
Yes. Apparently YouTube has taken a dump. Like YouTube crashed. So people are like, are y'all still streaming? Yes, we are. Sorry about YouTube. We can't control that, but we really appreciate y'all coming in. Shout out to Rachel for coming. Of course, Eric, Josh, Jalen for always being here. Breeze can suck it. I'm gonna cuss him out. And shout out to Marcus Sniffles, who's mad at me because I spent the night over someone's house this weekend. Y'all are in my business.
What?
TMI.
So he's been hating on me all weekend because of that. But
you gonna tell us who?
Yeah.
No, we don't need to know.
I mean, I'll tell it off this show. Like I ain't about to be having all the business in here. Okay? So on that note, follow her, follow all her shit, and send prayers, universe, hums, whatever the fuck you do to get her to Atlanta so she can be here and get these stupid sportscasters out of here. Okay. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We out.